How's it going, fellas? Triarius Wargaming here. Up here in northern New England, we're still very much in the grasp of winter as we head into late March. So apologies for no update. I've been meaning to upload, I just haven't been. But what I do have, I've got some Wargaming news, and then I've got a bunch of updates, bench updates from the month, kind of crammed together into one video. So we'll start out with the Wargaming news, and then we'll get on to the bench updates. Alright, guys, so I want to start this update with a little wargaming news. So, if you are an ancient wargaming fanatic like me, you've probably been keeping your eyes on Aventine miniatures, who really, for the ranges they do, I just don't think anyone really compares to what they have. So, for me, especially their successor stuff and their Republican Roman stuff is kind of my top interest, although I do have a fair amount of their Byzantines and whatnot. Basically, they have been, if you've been following them, the owner said he's going to retire, and that has caused a rush on the store. I mean, I'll be honest, I put in some big orders this year when I heard it opened up. Well, it looks like he's opening the store up again for orders, but it's good to know. I mean, he's been playing his cards close to his chest, but they do have a purchaser. So I just, I'm not really a big Facebook user to be honest, but I was just checking Facebook the other day, and it looks like he's finally actually announced they do have a buyer, and it's very promising. So uh, Gary McFarland and his son Connor, I guess, will be running the business, and they've bought a oh, excuse me. They bought a garage and well, they have a garage and they put all the equipment in there, and it sounds like this is going to be a full-time job for them. So I think that's awesome. And also Adam is going to keep on sculpting the ranges. So I think that's really good news. Hopefully, I wish Gary and Connor uh, all the success possible, and I know I'm going to be supporting their takeover with an order in June, and that's because like people were putting in these massive orders to the previous guys because it was very uncertain. I think I mean, a lot of trouble could have been avoided if they just kind of came up with this information a little earlier. Because some of the stuff in the Aventine range, like just no other manufacturer basically makes it, at least to the quality that Aventine offers, anyways. So I think that's some great news. Some other awesome news that I just saw the other day as I was checking the web is on Victrix, and they announced they've got 4 new sets coming. The Irish, the Scots and Picts, the Islamic Horse Archers, which, I mean, those are cool. I mean, these two, I mean, the Irish and the Scots, I wouldn't say I'm like jumping out of my bed to order those. The Islamic Horse Archers, they might be good for a future Crusades project, which I would like to do, but that is not really going to happen for a while. But what I really got excited about is the Theriophori they have announced. So these just don't exist in plastic as of yet. I mean, I've got some that I have a mix of metals and conversions, but this is pretty sweet that they're coming out with these, and that makes me wonder if they're going to expand on their Hellenistic stuff, which I think would be great. I think the Hellenistic they do have is okay, but it's kind of a little lacking, I think, in movement. Um, I wish they did like the Warlord Phalanx guys. They have their pikes at different angles. I wish the Victrix did that. Now, interesting in the comments. So, at long last, fabulous 304. I suppose the Thorakidian Thracians may be next on the horizon. And where did I see it in the comments? Well, anyways, when I was looking at the comments the other day, all right, here we go. Any chance of some Ramphia, which are like the two-handed swords in there, as well to use them as Thracians? And what do we got? A specific set might be on its way already. Winky face. Oh, that is exciting. That is exciting. So that's kind of awesome. Feel like it's been a while since Victrix released a true ancient set. And actually, that's a total lie. They released their Greek hoplites. but like last summer, so never mind on that. But I think that is good news that we're getting some more ancients and maybe some more refreshers. What is awesome, this helmet, that's such a 304i helmet. I mean, these extra helmets are going to be great to add into other of their Hellenistic sets and whatnot. Now, what I really hope they do, I wouldn't mind a phalanx refresh. I mean, they don't even, the old sets are fine, but it would just be nice to get some more characters, command figures, and pikes. If they had the pikes at that 45-degree angle, that would just be so amazing. Please do that, Victrix. I mean, I doubt they will, but cavalry in the line of thorax. I mean, I like the breastplate cavalry, don't get me wrong, but some cavalry in line of thorax would just totally hit the spot. All right, guys, Triarius Wargaming here. So it's early March. This month, I want to be a little better at actually giving some updates throughout the month on the project. I know previously I was like, I'm gonna commit to 2 updates a month. And I did that in January. February, we totally fell off the boat. And I didn't even get my February update out until March. That's kind of where we're at. So on my desk, I mean, you can see there's a bunch of crap. So what we'll do is I'll talk you through some of the different things I'd like to accomplish this month. So as far as what I would like to get painted, we've got the cavalry for the project. So in front of you, I mean, this is something like 3 units of Greek cavalry. And then these guys I did a number of years ago. They were supposed to be Paeonian cavalry for the army of Alexander the Great. So the Paeonians were a people sort of to the north of the Thracians. They were a Thracian-esque people. They committed some light cavalry and light infantry to the army of Alexander. So these 3 figures were supposed to be Paeonians. They're kind of more Hellenized, and then I gave them Thracian shields because they were kind of a Thracian people, and I believe it is in Thucydides says that the Thracians were the first Greek-ish people. I mean, they weren't really Greeks. The Greeks wouldn't have considered them Greeks, but as far as the Greeks knew, they were the first people to use shields on horseback. So I gave them some of the crescent shields. They're going to be rebased and incorporated into that massive cavalry. So you can see this was from back in the day when I was definitely more financially conscious and more space conscious of my armies. I was like, yeah, 3 cavalry, that can be a light cavalry unit. Yeah, we've kind of changed our ways, I guess. We've been upgrading the collection. So they'll get cycled into the mix there. All right, so that is the Greek cavalry. What I am thinking too, actually, is I have some Victrix cavalry, both the light cavalry and the heavy cavalry in bags. And I'm kind of thinking I might actually do up another unit or 2 of those as well as Greek cavalry, just so that I have enough Greek cavalry for whatever I want to do. And I'll talk more about Greek cavalry as we go through. I think, especially in the wargaming scene, I think the Greek cavalry is somewhat underrated. But anyways, we'll save that waffle for another time. I do have a few more hoplites I would like to do. So these are going to be the back rank to my Thebans. And the Thebans were known for kind of their deep fighting style. So I want to add another couple of ranks onto one of their units. So they have that deep phalanx that they were known for, 25 to 50 ranks deep compared to maybe the normal Greek of 8 to 12. So now we have all this crap in front of you. So what do we have here? Oh, Jesus. This is I mean, this is a hefty sack. I mean, this probably weighs like 20 pounds maybe. I don't know. But this is all my unfinished metals, like the stuff that's left over for the Greeks. I mean, there's some other stuff in there too. There's some Macedonian stuff. I've been starting to mass Macedonians. So I'm kind of in a little bit of a Macedonian bulking phase, massing phase.
probably shouldn't indulge that, but yeah, Macedonians I think are going to be on the ticket in the next few years. Not this year and next year, but in the next few years. I might do a test unit, but we'll keep that under wraps. But in here, we've got a lot of guys who are going to end up as skirmishers, and that is what we have on this pile too. So what I would like to do is 2 units of Thracian peltasts in kind of not a tight ordered formation, but in a more formed formation. 2 units of Greek peltasts in that kind of formation. So that's 4 units of 18-ish guys. So that is one batch. So these all have to be sorted. But I also need to do at least 4 units of light skirmishers, and there'll probably be more than that, maybe more like six units of light skirmishers. So this has got to be all organized through. Some guys are going to the Thracians, some guys are going to the Greek peltasts, and others are going to the lighter skirmishers. And some of those skirmishers I'm going to do as peltasts, so with a peltast shield, and then others are going to be more soli or pisoli, however it's pronounced, and they are going to be unshielded light troops. All right, so I did pick up a pack of the Greek peltasts and javelin men and slingers to throw in there too. And the main reason I got this set is because the Foundry figures don't come with the crescent peltast shield, and I just love that shield design. There will be round ones mixed in there as well, but I did want to make sure I had an ample supply of the peltast shields. Also, these guys will be useful in making up the numbers should it come to it, which it probably will. And any leftovers, they can be incorporated into a number of different other armies, I think. So that'll be good. Okay, so here we have the Horse Archers, Scythians, and Parthians. I will be honest, I've been getting a real Persian craving, and I bought these a while ago to potentially convert into Allens or Huns to go along with those Horse Archers there, which I will finish. I actually I have a convention I'm going to in April. I want to potentially get those finished up for the convention. You can just see them hiding in the shadows. They're like 75% done. I've been sitting on this for over a year, and I think this will be useful. One, here we can just look at the art. The Scythian hat is like pretty much the same hat that the Thracians wear. So some of these heads, we might make up some numbers for the Thracians potentially from this kit by just sticking the plastic heads on the regular Greek peltasts. But also, as I said, I've been kind of getting a hankering to doing some Persians, and these are kind of Persian-esque troops, but they could be pretty useful in a number of different armies. And also the Athenians did maintain for a while some mercenary Scythian horse archers, only, I believe, 200, so negligible on the tabletop, really. They're more of a scouting force, but I think they could be cool. They also, the Thracian tribe of, I'm forgetting the names, but there's one of the Thracian tribes which is very Scythian-esque. They're almost a blend of Scythians and Thracian. So, and they used horse archers, so they could be pretty good for that Thracian tribe as well, mixed with the javelin men. All right, so last but not least, for stuff to pull together, I have these naked fanatics. So you do have to trim the belts off of these and some of the torques and stuff, but these will go towards the javelin men and peltasts as well. And maybe I gave up on, I was originally going to convert these into naked hoplites, but I did a few conversions, but it was a lot of conversion work, and that is mainly because of the spears. The Celtic spear and swords are quite different than the Greek spears and swords. So I didn't use those spears on them. So that required a lot of chopping and conversion work to make them actually fit in. But if they're just using javelins, then they should fit in quite well as Greek skirmishers. So that is kind of the goals-ish for the month of April. Basically, start painting up the cavalry and start assembling the light infantry. So the light infantry will be the project for May. February, I was a very good boy. I didn't make any miniature purchases at all in February, okay? That was kind of my February resolution, not to buy any more miniatures. I went heavy into some of those Christmas sales, and let's just say the bank account, was not too happy about that. And I also needed to make my IRA contribution and everything like that in February before I do my taxes. So basically, yeah, we needed to clear the IRA stuff, get the IRA underway, the IRA contribution underway. And I just, it's just like you got that money flowing out the door. It's like it's got to stop somewhere. So April, I do actually need to make some purchases now. March, I do need to make some purchases. Wow, I'm getting all my months mixed up. We're in March. We want to get the light infantry primed up by the start of April, so that April we can crank out the light infantry. March, we should get all the cavalry done. There we go. And then I do have to make a few odd purchases this month, just so everything is underway. So what we're going to have to do is get the camp stuff sorted. So I'm going to order, we got to get some tents. I do have figures. I don't think we'll need any more figures, but maybe some more camp detritus, and then also maybe some more casualty figures potentially. All right, so that's it for me for today, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, so what do we have? We have 36 metal peltas. So these guys will all have shields, and they're a little higher grade than your average Greek skirmisher. So what we're gonna probably need is at least 24 of these. And I actually have around 20 already painted from my Macedonian army that are similar to those. They're kind of a different basing style, so we can incorporate those. So we shouldn't need to assemble too many more peltas for them. As far as the Thracians go, we're at 27 here, but I do actually have 8 that I painted previously. So we're actually pretty close to 2 units of 18 for the Thracians. And then for the Soloi, we've got 30 something, I forget the exact number. So we are gonna need a few more of the Soli done up. And with these, like what they would have been in many cases is like literally the guys who are carrying like the armor, basically, like carrying the armor for the hoplites. So they're pretty low quality. They're not necessarily like expert skirmishers. The experts would be kind of the more peltasty dudes. These are going to be, they're going to have a mix of some javelins. Some of these guys are literally just throwing rocks. Let's see, and we'll have a mix of slingers. They're not going to count, I think, as like slingers when I play, because they're not like Balearic slingers or Rhodian slingers who are like dedicated to slinging or anything. Like they're just a hodgepodge of servants, slaves, younger brothers sent out with, if they're lucky, a javelin or a sling. And in the worst case, they're just picking up rocks that they find on the battlefield. That's kind of the lot of these kind of troops. So some of these guys I might actually even, they're kind of in javelin throwing orientation, but I might even like try and sculpt in a rock in their hand. So they're like literally just throwing rocks in some cases. All right, so we got them organized. The next step, we just got to get them cleaned up, shielded, get what we need done from the plastic. and then get them all popsicle sticked up. All right, folks, here we go for a late March update. I wanted to do this earlier in the month, but it's been kind of a busy month, and man, March has just been absolutely flying by. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, what have we got done? What do we got in store? So in terms of painted miniatures, we have got these couple units of Greek cavalry over here, 2 units of Greek cavalry. These are the Victrix Greek cavalry. Now you can see some already have some basing material on them, and that is because they are older figures, which I touched up a little bit and did a little repainting on. And some of you might be watching and you're noticing, wow, these guys all have bright white helmets. What is going on with that? Well, if you know, you know. But if you don't know, basically, Xenophon at the Battle of Leuctra describes the Theban cavalry as painting their helmets white in color. So that's why their helmets are white. These are supposed to be 2 units of Theban cavalry. And these guys over here, they were originally, when I originally did them many years ago actually, they were supposed to be Thessalians, but they've been changed over to be Thebans with the white helmet upgrade. So we got those 2 units painted. I mean, I mixed the unarmored and armored troopers together. I don't really have a problem doing that personally. So the next goal is to get the other Foundry cavalry painted up, and we should get about 3 more units of cav out of those suckers. All right, so what else have we been doing? Well, the main goal, or the main thing I've been working on other than that, is actually getting these prepped. The next month's troops prepped up so I can prime them the next time we have a good priming window, which will probably be April 11th weekend. We'll get these primed up. But what do we got? We have got over here the peltasts. So mostly they're going to go into 2 units of kind of formed peltasts, and then we'll have a few units or so of skirmishing peltasts. And these are going to be mixed with a bunch of Victrix dudes that I already have painted up, basically. So that's what those will go to. All right, so kind of actually mixed together here, but in the middle and over here, what we have got is the soloi. So what were the soloi? These are the lowest of the low skirmishers. They got an assortment of weapons from, some have javelins and stuff. Others, are just throwing rocks. And some of these I kind of did my own homemade rocks for them. And some of them come with rocks, some have slings, and some, the javelins, of course. But these guys, they're kind of like the lowest of the low skirmishers. They would be, if you're a hoplite marching to battle, well, you're not going to carry your own shit, that's for sure. Well, in most cases, right? You're not going to be carrying your own shit. You're going to have a slave carrying it, or you're going to have your younger brother carrying your stuff, whatever. And when it comes time to fight the battle, some of those guys, many of them would have been with the camp, but also in certain circumstances, you would throw them out as skirmishers. Or, alternatively, they could be just poor shepherds or hill folk, or whatever, helots, that kind of deal as well. But, they're more mainly kind of a harassing type troop. I don't think there's any Greek battle that's decided by this lowest class of light infantry. The peltasts do some success, and the archers and stuff, but these guys, they're, they are in certain cases literally just throwing rocks. And then we've got some Thracians. I do have some Thracians already painted up, and we should have enough to have about 2-ish units of the Thracians. So the goal is hopefully we can get all this cavalry done by April 11th and do a little bit of a showcase with all the completed stuff April 11th, and then get the light infantry primed up, and there we go. And then after the light infantry, the last remaining thing to do will just be the camp and the casualties. Now, with the camp, initially I was thinking maybe I'd just order some tents, but I looked up some tutorials online, and for the Greek tents, I think those should actually be quite easy just to make some tents from the tutorials. Now, Roman tents might be a little more challenging, but the Greek tents, I mean, they're very basic tents. So I think we'll just, I was going to drop like $20 on tents, and that's not even with shipping. And I was like, this is kind of ridiculous. I think we can do better just, or I mean, we can get something passable just from like basic kitchen supplies, basically. All right, so enough of the ramble for now. We got to get these guys cleared off and the painting station set up for the cavalry.